started in October of 12, we were sitting in a retreat trying to plan for 2013, and the real question was that we kept finding out that we were buying all of these technologies and we were buying all these computer programs and all these software programs, trying to figure out how to make all this work. And at the end of the day, you added up how much we were going to spend, and it's like, my gosh, we're going to spend, almost $1 million a year to have something we don't want or doesn't work. And the thing that's always frustrated me about technology is that it forces me to do business the way it wants me to do business instead of the way that I want to do business. So I asked the team then, I said, how much does it cost to get what we want if it costs us $1 million to get what we don't want? And so that kind of began this journey of what does it look like of creating a technology summit, which is what we originally wanted to do, where we would bring all of these providers in and say, we want to do business the way we want to do business instead of the way you want us to do business. And so that kind of led us on the search of finding out what kind of DMS provider will really give us the tools we need to be able to have it our way instead of having to have it some other person's way. So that's kind of how we started. The other issue that I think we face in our industry is that most car dealers think that we compete against the other car dealer down the street. So when they think about a customer doing business with us, we think about, will we be better than our competitor? And the problem with that is that the customer doesn't compare their experience with us in the car business just to other car dealerships. They compare the experience they have at our dealership with all the ways that they spend money. And so as an example, if you and I got on Amazon right now and we wanted to buy a $5 pen, within less than 60 seconds, I could get an email from Amazon that would be my receipt, and it would have a hyperlink that would tell me exactly how I could click on that link and go track that pen from where it left somewhere in Arizona, when it gets on the truck, gets on the plane, gets on the truck again, and when it gets delivered to my office. So that's the experience customers get to have through Amazon. And then I think customers ask the question, if I can find out that kind of information on a $5 pen, why can't you tell me when I call the status of my $50,000 vehicle? They don't understand that. I mean, if a $5 pen from Amazon can be tracked that way, why can't the car that I'm paying $1,000 a month for be tracked that way? And so I started asking the question, what are we going to do to really raise the way that we're able to take care of customers so that in turn we can provide those kind of world-class experiences? In addition to that, if you look at the people that we bring into the company day in and day out to try to teach a new person how a green screen and old world terms DOS-based system works when they're used to iPhones, smartphones, iPads, and the internet, it's a foreign language to someone to try to understand what that looks like. So we kind of sought out, what are the best providers, looked everywhere we could, and we all agreed though that if we wanted to be able to provide those kind of services to customers, where we could email them their receipt, where we could communicate via text and they would be able to approve estimates without having to come in, when there were ways that people could have a conversation about buying a car and it would be as seamless as if they were talking to a customer. If we wanted to make technology a great slave instead of making it our master, we had to start with a really great foundation. And so all of the due diligence led us all over the country from Atlanta to California and back to try to find a company that would help us build that kind of foundation. And so that's how we landed on DealerBuilt. And so for me, I think today, as small as it may seem, that we could be on the verge of really making history in the car business. And I think that with your commitment of what we want to do and understanding how we want to take care of customers, and then the foundation of DealerBuilt to really lay the solid groundwork for us to be able to take care of customers the way we want to instead of the way the DMS wants to, that we have a huge opportunity to change the way customers experience buying a car and getting a car serviced. thing I would remind you about change is that it is always uncomfortable. If I ask you to take notes this afternoon with the opposite pen, those notes wouldn't look very good. But if you did it long enough, and if you refuse to get frustrated, you'd eventually get it. And that's exactly how it works with any change. None of us love change unless we're in charge of it. And so that's why we've tried to keep everybody as involved as we possibly can and make it reasonable to say, no, we need your input, we want your feedback. And so I want you to really, every morning through the next week or so, really think through that process of, listen, none of this is anybody's fault. If something goes wrong, we're gonna find a way to fix it, we're gonna do the best we can, and we're gonna move on. Is that fair?